So I just want to start off at the very beginning, letting everyone know that we are moving our meeting times. We put out a poll and Aisha was able to do this. I don't know how, but we're like, she worked her magic and came up with the magical time and space that we hopefully will all be able to join. And it's going to be Mondays starting September 27th at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And obviously, I know that things will come up and not everyone is, tied to this time, but we're just hoping that this can create the container for everyone to be able to be here together to share their magic. So thank you, Aisha.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yes. So there's many things that I feel like we haven't met in a long time. I don't know why, but it feels that way for me. And I'm not sure. The first thing I think I want to start with is where you guys are at in your sacred prayer. So I'm going to go one at a time. I'm not going to have you guys read them today, but I want to just know, get a feel for where everyone is, because we won't be going forward in our lessons until everybody has this and has called in your spirit animals and your sacred sites. Okay. So April, you now are number one there. I'm going to you first.
Okay, I do have mine.
Awesome. Tiffany? Oh, you're, sorry.
Yeah. I have all of my animals and all of my places, and I'm working on my prayer.
Okay. So I'm just, not because of Tiffany, but because I was feeling that we all were not ready to move on. I don't have a new lesson to give today. So I want you guys to spend this next week getting your wording down. Again, use your tools, use the books you have, use the internet. If you don't know what the messages are, just tune into what thread that spirit animal or that site is bringing to you, and then incorporate it into your prayer. Okay. Sherry, how are you doing?
Okay, so I only have 2 places, but I'm going to keep searching. But I wanted to just read you one example and see if this is right.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the north, great raccoon, teach me what it is to come out from the shadow and step into a positive self-image. Is that right? Am I doing it right?
In my body, so it feels right to me.
Okay, so I did all 4 like that, and I have 5 animals, and I was talking with Susan, and Melanie, and she's like, yeah, there's 5. Put one in the middle, down by the northwest or the southwest, and I was like, okay, then I believe it. Melanie confirmed that I do have 5, so I'm gonna stick with my 5, and just gonna work on the apus. I only have 2.
Yeah, and I mean, ideally we would want one for every direction, but if you are earnestly working at this and you haven't come up with one, it may be that it's not ready to present itself to you. So, just pull your prayer together, and if you need to, leave space in those directions for them to come in on their own. Okay.
All right. I just don't know where my 2 places go, so that I'm also working on which direction for those 2.
I want to just say here, don't make it like it has to be, there's one right answer. Just flow, and just sometimes test it out in an area, in a direction, and don't be I haven't gotten the download yet, no, just let it flow. And even you can be like, where am I located physically, and where are they to me? Are they in the south? Are they in the west? And then so yeah, just
thought of that. Okay.
Aisha, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like I have all of the elements. I just need to put everything together into my prayer, and I still need to really sit down and find the right wording to have a sense for what all my directions and animals are teaching me. I just need to put the time towards creating it. But on just like another note, I really feel like, especially after this week of doing Akashic readings almost every day for people and opening to people's energy, I've learned a lot about what it means to be open. It's like different when you're open with your own energy and you're protecting your own space. But like opening with someone else, it's almost like the space is now this big. And I just had an interesting, energetic week in terms of that. And so I feel like this prayer and like creating my own sacred space is like timely. It couldn't be at a better time for me. And I know I need it. And I'm really excited to like bring that in as a resource as I'm like growing my own spiritual practice too. So
And I would say too, like going into my own records, I always start with the sacred prayer first and then open up the Akashic records after. So yes, always,
okay.
you always want to start with protecting your vessel first before you open up to, well, I mean, I don't read for others in that way. So especially for you, because you're opening up theirs, you want that bubble around you. Are you good? Am I unstable? It says I'm unstable. You want that.
You are kind of bouncing in and out a bit.
Oh, I think it's back. You want that protection first around you so that you're in your space, and then you can see clearly what's in their space.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's gonna be my weekend activity. So looking forward to it.
Megan,
Animals, yes. Sites, 3 out of 4, and then I'll be finishing my prayer this week.
okay, so just before we're moving on, I'm gonna make sure everybody's at the same level and we're ready to move on. So the ones that are still working on pulling it together, just don't make it more stressful than it is. Play with it. Like even if you do one direction one day a day, it's not, it's like the medicine that your soul is calling for, and you're just bringing light to that and asking for the support in it. Okay, so it's not I don't know, I know it can feel like pressure, but I don't want it to feel like pressure. I want it to feel like medicine, I guess. Melanie, are you there? Are you? Oh,
Yeah, I'm here. I have my animals and directions, and I have my 4 poos, and I will work on my prayer.
And Kayla?
So I have 4 of the animals, and I have 2 of the sacred sites, and I have a sense for the other 2 sacred sites, but they haven't fully come through yet. But I have to tell you, ladies, that this last weekend I went on a spontaneous trip to Utah, and I visited one of my sacred sites before I knew that it was my sacred site. And oh my God, this place is so magical and beautiful. So yeah, that was really amazing. And then yeah, I'll just work on, pulling the other 2 sacred sites through and work on my prayer.
So I'm gonna just leave space for this if she wants to. You guys know that we had a ceremony this weekend, and Susan, who is not here, was one of the people that ended up, her energy ended up being present, and also Melanie. And if Melanie, you want to say anything to the group, you can, or if you want to keep it to yourself, you can. But I'm gonna ask if you have anything to say to that. Oh, maybe she had a.
Will you say, you want me to, what do you want me to talk about?
Anything, like, are you feeling good? Are you feeling tired? What are you feeling?
Oh, I had peaceful so peaceful and happy. I guess that would sum up my experience, and I still feel that way. Yeah,
What I have,
it was amazing.
what I felt in that time with you guys was that each person gets what they, I mean, I've felt this many times, but each person gets exactly what their soul wants to share with them. And I mean, being in Melanie's energy for me for the first time in that obviously an intimate way, she is like so calm and grounding and just full of love that it, of the people that were in the space, like I felt like you were such a blessing to be in ceremony with. So I told you that when we said goodbye, but I was kind of this weekend reminded that when you choose to be in a sacred container with others, you are literally becoming one with their energy. And I felt that for both her and Susan, and also my friend Nora, who also was there. And it's just a very unique experience when you know the people you're in ceremony with versus going in with people that are, you know, strangers. So it was definitely a powerful weekend. And I still am recovering. I'm still exhausted. And yeah, so I'll let Susan share her experience when she comes back, because I guess she's not able to come today. But then one of the messages, and this kind of translates into what we're talking about today, is I had, first of all, I guess when I started the Facebook group, I, you know, kind of following the pattern of other people's saying that, you know, this isn't a place for self-promotion and that we should keep it more conversational and not about trying to get followers. That was kind of like what felt right. And this weekend for me, one of the first things that came up was that this kind of energy vortex is here to support each other. And it was actually kind of working up to this. So kind of the thread started before we went into ceremony, because I was told that many of you guys took the level 2 Akashic Records class with the Soul Tribe, Lorena and Lucia. And I felt so, I don't know how to say it, I guess sad that I didn't know. And I was like, oh, and then someone said, you know, they were wondering if they could share it with the group. And I felt like, oh, so that I think is why it came up in ceremony, because I had going into it this feeling of, have I created something that it doesn't feel safe to come out of the closet and be like who you guys are. So then what happened in the ceremony was that I need to change that. I need to make this a space that obviously we share with each other what our passions are and what we're going through and what we're working on, and literally use each other and help each other along the path, because the only way that we will grow is to work with each other's energy. And the only way you can grow in whatever modality you're working on is to practice. And that's like, this container is that, like, it is everything. And I felt a little bit, I don't know how to say it, but I felt uncomfortable with how I had thought that the energy should be. And I think that the reason that it's set up like that in most cases is because, you know, they aren't as intimate as obviously we are. So I think that is one of the main things of, and a lot of people just use platforms to promote. And I think that that's not what any of us are about. And I will say that if you guys do share in the future, especially in the WhatsApp group, like, tell us what you're sharing, like give from the heart space, or start a conversation around why, for example, you are sharing, let's say, a podcast that you did, or an article, or a class, like, because we want to be on the journey with you. And I think that's why I was turned off from it, is that there's one thing to just throw energy at people. There's another to incorporate them and evolve them with you in it. And I think that is what is needed. So I would just say, going forward after today, share, like, what is the passion behind it? Why are you drawn to be an Akashic Records reader? And then like invite us along, and all of the things. So saying that, I know April just put her face up, so I hope she's still there. But April, do you want to start? So this is all about, they showed me turning the tables, and let's talk about what each one of us is working on and go deeper into how we can support each other in that thing. And it doesn't have to be like a practice. What they were showing me is like, it could be the struggles that you're having. Like Melanie brought up her lemon, and that was like exactly how I wanted to bring this up with it. I mean, I didn't have to, because that's the energy. It's the energy of what do we need support in, and knowing that each of us is going to have something different probably every week. But that is, again, why we're here. So April, if you want to go first, and just, it's as open as you want it to be.
Okay, I kind of missed out because I had someone come to the door real quick. But I'm supposed to be talking about my struggles. Is that what?
What I had said was that kind of the history of why I had thought that we weren't supposed to be how did I say it, like making this a platform to share your personal things. And then the thread came up at the start of the week last week that I found out that there were many people in this group that had studied the level 2 Akashic Records, and I had this sadness come over me of like uncomfortable, like why did I not feel okay with that being, I don't know. I think there was work that I was working on, and then it came up in ceremony. So what they showed me in ceremony is that this particular Zoom is going to be about going to each person and share, like, it's your stage. You can share, like, what are you working on? What are your passions? Like, talk about your podcast, talk about your writings and why you love writing. You could talk about like what's going on in your family. It doesn't have to be sad things. It could be amazing things. It could be like how Melanie said the other day, for us to bring prayers for Lemon. And I know that we are supposed to be open to sharing wherever we are, and also use each other, not use, that's not a good word, leverage each other to practice what we need practicing. So that's what I wanted you to.
Okay. Well, I came to this meeting today just feeling a little fragile and being more receptive than really having anything to give. Been having a hard time with family. This whole COVID shit is when you don't see eye to eye with people, and people that you had thought that would always have your back regardless if you didn't see eye to eye, and then you realize that because of a certain belief system that you're suddenly subhuman and don't need to be treated with respect. It just, like, I had a really shitty childhood, and so my brother was my person. He saw me. I felt like, that was such a blessing to be witnessed, and for us to be able to talk about things, that I didn't make it up, or that really was crappy or whatever. And so it's just been a matter of, what does stepping into your own power look like? I know he has his journey, and what he's experiencing is perfect for him, and what I'm experiencing is perfect for me, and just trying to relax into that I'm going to be okay. Other than that, I was telling someone today in a reading, because I'm part of the Soul Tribe Patreon group, and I was telling her, because I was doing a reading for her, because she was asking kind of like what I was doing. I was just telling her that I was so thankful for both communities that I'm in, because I've lost, not COVID related, but like just maybe just like stepping into like a spiritual space, like God's like cut out these friendships I've had for like 15 plus years. And I don't know, I think we've talked about it in my subgroup, with my chart, and I just don't make friends easily, and it feels really disorienting to be in a spiritual place and have these relationships I had thought would last my entire life just completely dry up. It's been crazy. And so I was thankful. I was expressing my thanks for both of these communities, especially this one, because like if I didn't have you guys, in addition to what's going on here in my corner of the world, I would be even more discouraged than I am. And I'm doing the level 2 reading, and I expressed this to the rest of the level 2 Akashic Records students that we're in a small group with. It's been, I don't know, I feel like I've been so prepared. Like I'm the person that has the website, I have this scheduling things, I have the structure in place, right? And I feel like, okay, I even went from working 4 days a week down to just one day, because I felt like the universe was leading me in that direction to open up space, for my spiritual practices, whether it be the dream interpretation or the Akashic Records reading or the podcasting or my writing of articles or whatever, to sign up for readings. Because when you're excited about something, like of course everyone's going to want in on this, and then it's like, not every and so we came to the site, like the last day of our training, and one person, Facebook had we have to have 4, like she had 60 replies overnight. And so it was hard for me, because I know comparison is the death of everything, but it was hard for me not in that moment to be like, why the fuck am I here? Right? I've put all this work into it, and like I have everything in place, but the people aren't here. Maybe I've just been deceiving myself or thinking that I belong in a certain place, or that I should be doing a certain thing, when there's radio silence, and it's like, wow, did I completely misread something? And then it just goes back to, everyone's journey is perfect for them. And maybe if I had those 60 responses overnight, that I would feel overwhelmed, or, I know that there's logic behind it, but I want to be true to the feeling of it, like the emotional human piece of it. It's been really challenging. And when you have a reading with someone like Lorena or Lucia, and it's just mind blowing, it's so amazing. And then, you sign up for this course, and they say practice, practice, practice. And, logically you're like, okay, sure, you need practice, but like there's part of you that thinks, right, if I'm working with spirit, it's just going to happen like overnight. I'm going to be this amazing conduit, this clear channel, and it's just going to come through. And it's so depending on who I'm working with and I'm reading with, sometimes there's nothing that comes through with an answer. And then other times, like I'll receive like an image, but I won't receive anything else. And it feels kind of embarrassing, you know, if you were to come to it from an ego perspective. It's kind of embarrassing on my part not to be able to know what to do with this image or what spirit's trying to say with this answer. And so just being willing to be wrong, to come to it with no expectation of what it's supposed to look like, and just say, okay, spirit, I'm going to be putting in this homework, I'm going to be putting in this practice. And just like with level 1, where you read your own practice, you know, at first it's like, oh my gosh, but there's just enough nuggets in there to keep you going. Then that's kind of like what this has been. It's like, I don't know why I expected to be able to be as adept as Lucia and Lorena after like years of practice. And here I am just starting out. But yeah, that's where I am. I'm in a very interesting place right now. And I totally like talked, and I'm so sorry.
But I think everything you said is like probably what everybody goes through. I mean, I would invite everybody to unmute if you guys have something to say, but like the message that I got is that what's coming up for you is exactly what you need to break through to become the clear channel. Instead of just thinking I'm going to be the clear channel, it's like there's work still, and all of us have to do to get to that place. And that's like when you said, like, I have everything set up, you have all the structure in place. Now it's the let go and letting go of all of it, you know.
Gabriel, I think you froze.
Sorry. Can you guys see me now?
Yes.
I just said it's interesting how like you had everything lined up and ready to go, and now it's literally the let go that is the thing. It's letting go, letting spirit show you what you can't plan. I mean, and I can feel the frustration, and I've been in the frustration, and you know, I think just the message that I would say is that it's all perfect, all of it. And I know that's so frustrating to hear, but I also think that silver lining us. So, I mean, you have people to talk about it with instead of keeping it in, you know. Oh, Melanie, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think you read for both of my kids, and they thought that you did a great job.
Well, your kids
And yeah, they are
brought
cool.
a lightness to the space. Yeah, like one of the first people I read for. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because it's gonna. But it was a different feeling when I was reading for your kids, and it was a good. Like I said, they brought lightness.
So the other thing that I would say is that I am right with you, because my kids have had readings from multiple people from the class, and yours included. Those readings just sound amazing. And so I just can't get in my head. I just got to let it go. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Oh my gosh, that's the same thing I keep hearing about, like Melanie, like things that you say are so spot on. And like I had my reading with you, and it was like, wow, that's amazing. How are you already getting all this stuff?
Yeah, and nothing makes sense to me. So that's what you have to remember, is that even that one thing that comes through, it's probably going to make sense to somebody, to that person, I guess.
The other thing too, because I'm also doing my we're also soliciting people for readings, and like my personal rule at first it started in my life because I'm such a fixer person. Like I just want to fix everyone's problems instead of just listening and saying, I hear you. I'm like, okay, okay, this is what you do, you know? And so I created a rule for myself, which is like, I'm not going to help people unless they ask me for help. And then when I started doing astrology readings, it was the same thing. Like, I'm not going to hound people to book and book for them and blah, blah, blah. I just send them the link to my website. And if they book, great. But with these, what I've noticed with these practice readings is because you have to get so many in, you do have to say like, you know, like I'll do a free reading for you. And then you get people DMing you or messaging you who are kind of curious, but maybe never would have like looked for it on their own or executed it on their own. And I've had a lot of no-shows. I've had people show up that don't have questions ready or that are just curious about spirituality. And with those people, as much as they're trying to be open, I don't even know if they're aware of what open is really. And it is hard to do a reading for them. And so with people like that I do readings for that I know are open, like things flow and it just feels so good. And then there is this struggle. And like, I think keep in mind that part of the process, because if we weren't learning how hard it can be to read for certain people, we wouldn't be well-rounded readers because we would just get people that are open and ready. And so I think that's part of the process, and just keep in mind that soliciting people isn't what you'll always be doing. And that can be the embarrassing or like really hard energy to read, but it's also necessary for us to get out all of those like tough readings that make us feel like we're not very good, you know?
I wanted to say too, you already picked up on a huge lesson that took me some time to learn, April, is that you could feel the difference of energy. I mean, that's huge. When you know that there's someone that's bringing something to the table and someone that isn't, and how it affects you as a reader or as an energy person, you're learning your gifts. You're tuning into like the nuances of a situation and knowing that you're going to get both. And I personally now know that those both come because it's work I have to learn, you know, and I have to learn how to be in the same space with someone that brings a denser energy.
April also, well, I was talking to Gabrielle, and I do happily volunteer as tribute. I am anyone's guinea pig. I would love a reading. I'm open. There's so much that I'm still trying to unpack from Peru and from my Aya and a bunch of shadow stuff. So I do happily volunteer as tribute. But the other message to you, April, and to anyone who's practicing too. So one thing is, as most of you know, Kat and I tried to do, you know, a past life regression together, and nothing happened for me. Okay, like nothing. And so, and that, like, there was no way that I was like, oh, Kat didn't do it right or wasn't able to open me up. It was like clearly me, like, all right, my soul isn't ready for this, or I'm not. And for me, it was a try not to judge myself, like, oh, I'm not open enough. There's something wrong that I'm not able to connect this way. It was just like, all right, look, it didn't happen. So get over it. Like, it wasn't meant to happen right now. And then also, April, so like from a 3D like parallel example, when I first started teaching at Cycle Bar, teaching spin classes, like I was the new teacher at class times. Okay, so the number one class time that was horrible was Saturday at 8 a.m. Like nobody wanted that class. Had been getting like 3 or 4 people out of a studio that seats 50. Okay. And so I was like, man, this sucks. You know, like I got this really bad class time. You know, people don't like the 8 a.m. Saturday because they're out drinking before. You know, no one wants this. Eric was so encouraging to me and was like, bring your energy, like do you. And within a couple weeks, that class was like popping. Like people loved it. They loved that 8 a.m. class. It changed, you know, their whole day. And it was like, I grew that class from like 3 or 4 people to like almost maxing out some Saturdays. So like, just as an encouragement to like, be you, bring your energy and your authenticity, trusting that like who is supposed to come will come, but then also really releasing yourself from the responsibility of like, you could be the clearest channel, but if that person isn't coming to you open, there's nothing for you to read. You know, it's like, all right, if their book is shut and their guides or whatever is like, nope, we're not ready, there's nothing you can do. You can't force their book open and read to them if they're plugging their ears or covering their eyes, you know. So yeah, just tuning into yourself and your intuition and really releasing yourself and that other person from outcome, you know. So
Yeah, it's been a matter of letting it flow as it's meant to, but then at the same time, like figuring out like if I need to be more financially supportive of my family, like maybe I need to go back to work more days out of the week. And so there's like, some 3D concerns there. So like if my offerings aren't being sought out or requested by the spiritual community, then what am I doing? Maybe I need to go back to work and at least make some income. I'm the kind of person though that I don't know, I like to see immediate results. And I know that that's it could be something that takes years, and then other people, it's meant to be overnight. And I think with my human design 3-5 profile, it's more of a lot of that trial and error.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that just by you sharing, it already feels like it's opening up for you to be able to receive more. Like for me, I would love to do a reading with you, the same as Megan just said. And for anybody else that needs someone to do readings, I would completely volunteer to do that and support you ladies. And then I have like a good network of people. I have a lot of connections with people who are on the path, who are on the medicine path, who are really open to this kind of work. And so I would love to do a reading with you and just spread the word, and help you reach out. And I feel like, just exactly what this is about, us sharing and supporting each other in this way. Like we just need to start working together and, putting that energy out and move the energy along with each other. And also like trust yourself and trust that, you are on the right path. And yeah, just stay open to receiving and just trust. Also, I have an idea. I don't know if you would be open to doing this, but if like you go on Etsy, there are so many readers on Etsy, it's insane. And there are readers on there that are doing a lot of booking. So it's a platform that's already really well established. And I mean, maybe if you set up a profile through Etsy and, put together different packages or however you do it, maybe that would open the doors for more flow for you.
I would never have thought of Etsy because I think of that as like a handmade, hand goods store. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
And I just really love the community here because I like how the times that I have ventured to say something that is very 3D or human based or like ego, that I haven't been shamed and it's been heard and seen. And like Aisha, even she'd be like, you're seen, and like I feel really held and supported in this community. And like I said, um, it means a lot, especially right now. So
We love you, sister.
Okay, Tiffany, are you ready? I just
Yeah. Okay, so before I even start my own, I was talking to Kat this morning, and she is not able to join because it's 4 a.m. there, and her and when she joins, her dogs bark, and then it wakes her mom and dad, who both have dementia, and then they get up, and then she ends up cooking breakfast at 4:30. And she's really struggling. She was supposed to move into her new place on Wednesday, and the government shut it down. And she said they're only allowed, and I asked her if she wanted me to share this, and she said yes. So I have her permission. I wouldn't share anything without it. And so she has to have a paper giving her permission to move into her own place. And that was taken away from her, or taken back, or whatever. And so she's hoping that that will go through this next week. But in the meantime, she's really struggling, and she asked for support and prayers because she really wants someone to be able to come forward and just be their caretaker so that she can just be a daughter. She doesn't want to have to be dependent on 24/7 and not have her own life. So she's going through a really hard time. So I just ask that you all keep her in your thoughts and prayers and lift her up. So that is hers. And mine, I don't know, I think I'm in a different place than all of you, or not all of you, some of you that have businesses or starting communities, or I've taken things. So the tortoise is one of my animals, and I've been taking it slow and steady and trying to absorb every little nugget that comes through. Although my dreams are crazy vivid, my meditations, especially if I connect with our group, are amazing. And I'm getting more and more. I had sent you a message today about the pyramid thing coming through, but and I get everybody else. It's the weirdest thing. If I meditate with someone else, their animals come to me and give me messages for them. So that's something brand new that is coming for me. And I guess that's about all. I'm in a really good place right now. I think I just had my new grandbaby born, and I'm just in a place of light and love, and I'm trying to shine that and absorb everything that's coming in.
I just want to also say that she was visited by a friend, ally, which I know she shared with her smaller group, but not the larger group. Do you want to share who that is?
Oh, yes. Okay. So are you talking about the handprint? Yes. Okay. So I had a handprint. I'll put it in.
Oh, you can you share it, or maybe I will?
You could probably do it easier because I'm on my phone. I'm outside. That was on our floor in my bedroom. My husband's out of town. It's massive. It is the biggest handprint, like really big, and it's oily, super, super oily. I have no idea what it is, or I shared it with my group, and well, well,
I'm gonna try to get it. Keep talking, and I'll find it.
okay. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's from. It's I I measured it, and what did I say, Gabrielle? Like it's over 11 inches or something big. So my whole hand fits into the palm of whatever handprint this is. But it's definitely not human, and it's definitely not made from anybody in my house because I had nobody in my house.
Okay, I think it's
So cool.
and the thing that's really cool about this, you guys, is it's very clear. So
It's
here,
very clear.
I'm gonna show
I need
you.
to see it.
I know you're all, enough talking. Get to the picture.
Show me already.
I think you can see it. So here it is. You can see that it's like she says it's oily. Can you guys see it?
And when you look at it on her screen, it just looks like a regular handprint,
Then look
but
at next to it.
the outline in red is that one. So my whole hand fits inside the palm.
Yeah.
Is it like elongated too? It kind of looks like a,
Like look at the palm is like
yeah.
that whole space.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I love this.
So the hit I got was that it's Bigfoot.
Me too. Me too.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
so,
Okay.
yeah, I'm so like tuned into Bigfoot energy. Maybe because I live in the mountains. I don't know. But
they're
yeah.
real. They're totally real. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I asked her to do.
Well,
Yeah.
and this would go with the whole all the animals are coming to me. I'm getting everybody's animals. It's really bizarre. I tapped in with my future daughter-in-law and her dragonfly came in. So with me starting to study more on that and being connected with that world, it does make me wonder, like if that's one of the animals that's coming through.
I listened to a Gaia episode. I know it was Regina Meredith talking to someone, but I can't remember who, but they were talking about how Bigfoot, they can bounce in and out of our dimension, right? So, and that's how they're able to remain hidden, is because they can just come and go when they want, kind of thing. So yeah,
Well, so then she did a search and there actually are Bigfoot in her area.
National Geographic was here filming. So yeah, I don't know.
That's cool. I think the other thing too is because we're getting higher frequency. Like I definitely feel it. I feel more connected than ever to my like other dimensional friends. They just feel closer. Everything's coming closer. I think
Everything
that's
feels closer.
a bit of like lower frequency energy coming to me too. But yeah, I think we should all get used to it, like the feeling of visitors and friends and making contact with like, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I am. I'm tapped into the animal friends, I guess. And I'm just trying to feel them all out and see what this means and what I'm supposed to do with it. And
Well, start with your opening prayer. Invite them in.
yeah, that's what.
Free will we have, and until we invite them, they're not going to show themselves completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You want to go next?
Did you say me? Who did you say? Okay, perfect. April, when you were talking, I was just like feeling exactly your same feelings. I lost a lot of friends too. Kind of at a fork in the road with my husband at the moment, just because I feel like I'm so different from the spiritual journey and I've grown, and it's a term like I've outgrown, him or them. But I'm struggling with that too right now. And then you also said something, I wrote a lot of notes. Sorry, I take notes when I want to remember something. But April, you said you always want immediate results too. Well, I do too. I started the Akashic Records #1, And I was doing it for a few weeks, and then I was just like, oh gosh, I'm not satisfied with what I'm getting. So I stopped, and I know I can pick it up anytime. So Melanie, you said that was in my path in our reading. So I'm going to get back to that. But Melanie and I did a little reading, and it was awesome, everybody. And Melanie hit everything like spot on 100%. So you go, girl, you're doing it right. And then one thing Megan had said about the past life, I did one with Kat too, and the same thing. I didn't get anything like, but I think I have that aphantasia. Like I can't see pictures in my head. I see blackness and then just outlines only. So no color, nothing. And I'm like, well, it's me. Something's wrong with me. And I don't know, I have to get over that block. So that one was hard for me too.
But not everybody sees things in pictures, so you'll have your own way.
Yeah, I'm learning like to figure out what it is. Is it feeling? Is it like knowing? So I'm still working on that, and all my meditating I do. And then the last thing, Tiffany, that I do, I would love you to pick up that gift and help me with, clarifying my animals, maybe which direction or something like that. So you have a gift. You have a gift too. Don't doubt yourself. I love it. I think that's all for me.
Okay, so that was a lot. We're gonna go
in a minute.
So I want to first say with the friends thing, me in my personal life, I don't have friends. I have my best friend, and she, she's on the fringes of spirituality, but she just really likes crystals. She did do an Aya ceremony with me, but she's not really spiritual. Like this environment it would be too much for her. So I personally don't have that either. And I want you guys to know, I think that's where I got the hit that we were supposed to create this group. We need support from each other. And even if it's not physical, it doesn't need to be physical anymore. And it's interesting this past weekend, actually having two of you guys here in this physical space. At times it was really overwhelming. And this is something I haven't talked about, but I actually wasn't able to journey when they were journeying. It was the ceremony was closed, and then I took off. And the next day, Judy, the shaman, said, even if you don't consciously realize that you're worried or holding space for them, I couldn't let go. So sometimes I wonder, in my real life, are the relationships gone and there's room for me? There's space now created, an emptiness for me to go in. And when it actually is physical, it's harder to go in. So in a way, I don't want to discount losing relations, but at the same time, it's a blessing because it's helping you evolve into who you really are, And I also want to talk about this idea or this thing of partners. And I want to say, Sherry, you're not the only one going through this. This came up for me at the very start of my journey with Richard, and I was ready to totally let go of everything because I knew that I was more important than the relationship. And I shared this with you. The only way you'll know if your time and your contract together is over is by being your authentic self, because then it allows him to rise up to meet you or not. And you have no control over that. You have to be like as true to you as you can be. So I believe like you're doing it. You're doing the work. You're in it. So don't ever doubt that you're not doing it. Okay.
I also lost my partner and my home and everything. I didn't lose it. It changed. Like when I woke up, literally one morning, my boyfriend got up out of bed. We lived together for 2 years and had a house together and everything. And I just said, I can't. I literally woke up one morning and I was like, everything changed with today, because if I don't, I'm just too comfortable here. And so for me, waking up, it did come with a huge shift in terms of my partner. I moved provinces, I moved houses. It was huge, but then the ball really started rolling for me, and it was like, it was right back up again, so I definitely feel that.
And then didn't he come back around? Now he's back, right? Oh,
No, it was actually my ex who was that. I think I talked about him before, where we left and I felt like we split off. We remained friends, and I knew I needed to like go back to him. And I did. I was like, I'm coming back for you. If you'll take me back, let me know. And he was like, I'm going into a meeting in 2 minutes, Alicia, Jesus. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Just let me know. Like, I'll be on my way. I was like, so yeah, that is what allowed me actually to like get out of where I was living, which was on a totally like 3D path for me, and wake up and be like, oh, I can actually jump back into something that was aligned. I popped out, and I just, once I got right back on that, it all just felt perfect. So anyways.
and I think too, letting go of what we think it needs to be, like the idea that if I let go of this thing, it will never come back around. It's all energy, it's all, if you give yourself from that authentic place, you don't know what like the universe has in store for your contract with him and with your friends and all of the people, right? So Fabi just came in.
Sorry, my microphone.
Oh, sorry, Fabs, I'm gonna put you on mute for, okay. So yeah, I want us to just be as open and honest with each other as we can. If you're going through something like that, it's huge. Like, and I remember when I was going through it, I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. I was just like, I can't do this. Like, it becomes so uncomfortable that getting up in the next day, or getting up in the day, was just so painful for me to even see it glaring in my face. It was like, I'm ready to let go of all that I know in order to find, I guess, like what's out there. You don't know. So you're brave.
Could I just ask for you, Gabrielle, like, if maybe going back to like your Aya ceremony and not being able to journey while you had your, like, obviously you feel some sort of like, protection or like guidance over us. And is this like, we're also here to hold space for you and hear you and everything. And if we're creating this equal open sharing space, that's also for you to share and be vulnerable, which you're very good at doing that. And you do that on the podcast, of course, but
there is something that I'm working on right now that I am afraid to share, but I will, because you're calling it out, which I need to be called out too. Like, we all do. So there's, for me, in kind of April, there's a thread of what you were talking about in it as well, is that like you felt like you had everything set up and now you're waiting for the gift to just come through. I'm the complete opposite. I don't have anything set up. I don't know. I am like the last person that wants to do anything like in that way. But it's come to a place for me in my own work that I know that the energy is imbalanced. And part of that is accepting that I have to change and I have to go into the fear of it. And for me right now, that looks like setting up a way to teach that is an exchange or a donation or a something. And I know that's my next step. Like, that's the fear thread that I have to go through. And I'm trying, but it's not easy. And for some reason, for me in this life, I feel much better giving than receiving. So yeah, that's what I'm working on for sure. And as far as last weekend, there in person, for me, their energy is a lot harder to handle. And I can feel into each one of you and have a sense of what's going on, but then in person it feels completely different. And it's like way more powerful. And one of our sisters is really going through a hard time. And I felt like not that I took it on because I knew it wasn't mine to take on, but having that awareness going into any ceremony is hard, especially when you love someone and you care about them and you are there wanting to be there to support it. So I think my unconscious wouldn't let go because I wanted to make sure that person was safe. And it's weird because Judy, the shaman, 100%, I trust her with my life. So it's not that, it's just that there was fear all around in that connection. And that's what I was saying too to you, April. When that happens, it's just a deeper layer for you to work on. And I know it's not her, it's me. I have to be able to be in the space and know that that person is going through a hard time and be okay holding the space without needing to let go of my own, So yeah, that's what I'm working on, which I mean, it's very 3D for sure. Like we all have it. And I am the same.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks for calling me out. I need it.
Yeah.
Melanie, your turn. Are you there still? I know you're working. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still here. Wait, what am I sharing again? Something personal that's happening right now? Oh wait, can you guys hear me? Oh, but I
We can
can't
hear ya.
you. Oh, okay. I don't really know what else to say. If I'm talking about something that's happening to me personally that's really difficult, it's with my dog. And it's expensive. And so, yeah, that's a struggle for me right now. And I managed to put together an email, a new email, and I set up Calendly and named what I wanted my business to be, and it is White Tulip Healing. And when in our practice Akashic Record, when we were practicing during the training, Aisha read my records, and she kept seeing the peace sign, and she kept asking me if I was a hippie, and so there's flowers and a peace sign, and I'm like, no, I don't know. But when I was trying to find a name, most of the names that I wanted for the business were taken, but my favorite flower is a tulip. They're on my table. My son said, why not white tulip? And I looked it up, and the white tulip means love and peace. So it just kind of confirmed or validated what Aisha was trying to tell me, trying to get me to see. And so I have that all set up, and now I'm just kind of waiting for it to come, kind of like April. But this is really my problem. I'm scared that people at work or my family will find out what I'm doing, and so I just have to get past that. So, I don't know if anybody can relate to that.
I think everybody can relate to that.
Yeah. So this weekend I'm going to try and create my website, and I have I'm trying to remember where this came from, but I have 9 months. I have 9 months to have this up and running. That's my goal.
I want to say something so with the thing about coming clean or being outwardly open with who you're becoming is like, It's never going to be comfortable ever, but I have I don't know, so evolved into that person that when I went on that trip a few weeks ago, I only shared my photos with the group and not on any platform that my real family are. And Richard goes, why aren't you sharing your pictures with the people in your life? And I was like, oh, they don't matter. Like, I realized that I didn't want to. I don't want to share that magic with the people that don't get me. So it will change. There will be a shift where you realize where you are accepted, and then you want to give that love to that group of people.
Yeah.
So it will evolve, but it's scary for sure.
Yes.
And
Thank
I
you.
loved how your face lit up when you said white tulip.
White tulip healing. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I wanted to say about lemon. So, because I have set my alarm on my phone every morning for 7 a.m. And so I send energy. And I also asked Richard, and he said that he goes, oh, it's just a quick little surgery. And I was like, but I'm like, well, let's see if we can prove him wrong. So I it's hard. I think it's hard. I don't know if everybody's been doing this every morning at 7 a.m., but I think if we can get the concentration of it, it can flow. But right now, when I tune into it, it feels like it's still stuck there. Is it, Melanie, is the fluid?
Yeah. I think the first day, the fluid is, I can't tell if it's still there because it's so rapidly tight around the ear, but I can kind of see it drained a little bit because she's gotten her cone off, and she's like taking care of it herself, is how I kind of think about it. But the first day, I think that she felt it because she had this weird look on her face and her skin got tucked. It was like her lips got stuck on her teethies, and she was like grinning. So I want to say that it's working. So thank you so much.
Okay, Megan.
All right. So we are really stuck in like a lot of 3D stuff right now, with just not knowing where we're going for the winter, with Eric really struggling with what kind of work he wants to move into. Like, this is kind of our last month of like where Eric's like, we need to spend no money. Like, and he's really like looking into, does he want to try to find a job, and would that involve like having to get the vaccine, and or do we, is he interested in just like in starting his own business? So there's just all these, like, it's very like all of his energy is really being sucked into the like, how am I going to support my family? And meanwhile, I'm stuck in the etheric of like, I feel like some big things are happening, and it's almost like I'm resisting, putting energy into something that I think could totally blow up, tomorrow or something. So I don't know. I'm just trying to be supportive, I guess. But for myself, I've just coming back from Peru to like, there's a lot of shadow. Like, I think I have a lot of shadow work to do. The stuff that I've, like, anytime I'm in the medicine space, what comes up is very dark, very excruciating. And so I really need to start working through some shadow work I think. And but what I do want to do, like if I'm looking at, all right, what are the things that I want to move into, because like I'm trying to operate under the like, all right, if I didn't have to make money, then what would I want to do? Like, soul path type stuff that like Aisha and I kind of were talking about yesterday during our reading, is like, I am like a healer and I'm here to, to step into that and to lift other people up. And that's been a lot of my 3D jobs before, is coaching and empowerment. And so I do want to move into those things again. I've lately, like, dance is huge. I think I want to get into, along with yoga, but combining yoga and breath work and dance. And so I'm trying to think, like, I've thought about starting weekly, just hosting like a breathwork yoga class just for free, which I would obviously let you guys know as soon as I do that. So that's some way that people, like, I know there's like tons of stuff online on YouTube, pre-recorded stuff, but it's different when the energy is live and when you're tapping in person. So I think that's something that I want to start sharing. And yeah, I don't know. There's stuff coming up. I'm buying on my birthday, which is a week from today. I'll be 33, and I'm going to Florida in a week to volunteer at Soul Quest for the ayahuasca ceremony that weekend, because there are some people from my group in Peru who will be drinking. So I'm going to go there to volunteer and hold space. So I think that'll be really good for me to be back in the medicine space, but not in the medicine, because I was kind of, hate saying traumatized, but it was pretty traumatic, my Aya journey in Peru. And then it looks like I will be doing another ceremony myself, which was the last thing I wanted to do. But it's going to apparently be completely different. It's with the Kuntanawa tribe, and it's done very as like more like church ceremony, like in the daylight, like with people in community. It's very soft, very gentle, very loving. So it's not so much like digging into your shadow and really intense like that. So I am very interested, and I'll be interested to share with you guys the difference. Hopefully that type of way will vary from, the more traditional Shipibo style, which is very intense and can be very dark and very heavy. So yeah, I'm just really trying to get out of my head. My messages to me lately have been like, I need to play more. I need to open up my energy into play and to being more like a child, since I'm so in my head, and take things very, very seriously, and really come into my body more. So yeah, I'm so anxious to, like, what my life could look like in the next year, in a couple of years, the type of work I want to be doing. But it's all about women. Like, it's all about like releasing our divine feminine energy, like in very embodied ways. I know that that's what I want to be doing through dance and breath work and yoga and things like that. So those are the types of things that I want to be sharing soon.
Megan, how long are you going to be in Florida?
Oh, I didn't even tell you, Kayla. Yes, I just decided. Okay, I was just thinking about that today because the ceremony with the Kuntanawa tribe is going to be in Jupiter, and that's October the 3rd, I think. So my thought is that I'm just going to stay down there. So I'll come down on the 24th, and then I think I'm just going to stay in Florida through that ceremony probably. So I'll be around for a while, hopefully.
That's amazing. So something that's been coming up for me too is like doing embodiment practices also through dancing. So one of the I signed up for like an online course, and it's called Shakti Warrior Yoga, like dance.
I heard.
Okay,
I
so
think I like almost signed up for that. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's something we can chat about, and we could maybe work on
Yes.
partnering up
Yeah.
with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll want you to send me that because yeah, I remember seeing that through some like daily practice or something. There was like a free like course that was like just a workshop. But yeah, of course, like you and I mean, yeah, it's coming up for both.
We got
of us,
work to
for
do,
sure.
sister. Yeah.
And how you were saying,
You
like,
mean the lecture?
like it doesn't exist with your energy. So that's the difference. So yes, do it.
Yeah.
Kayla, you're next.
Okay. Well, so as you guys know, I've been doing a lot of work with my sister, and things are going really, really well. She is almost 30 days clean, and she did 2 combo sessions with me back to back. She hasn't done her 3rd or 4th one yet. The goal is to get her to 4 sessions to do like the full reset, but she's feeling really good. And so basically, I mean, that's pretty much been consuming a lot of my time and energy. I've been doing, just a lot of integration work with her, spending a lot of time with her, really going out and playing and having fun and laughing. We've been like getting into these fits of laughter together that are absolutely insane. And I know that that's coming through for healing. And laughter medicine has been really huge for both of us, really. And yeah, just working and just doing a lot of integrating, going out in nature. We went on a spontaneous trip to Utah and for the weekend, and we ended up hiking up this mountain to this beautiful hot spring. And it was just so healing. It was like one of the most beautiful places that I've honestly ever seen in my life. And just everything about the journey was just divine. I feel really blessed and really fortunate that I was able to do that with my sister. It just aligned. It was perfect timing, and it was exactly what she needed during this like really vulnerable time. So basically, like right now, I'm really I'm trying to like move in a direction with her, like developing something with her, maybe doing some yoga trainings together, and I'm trying to like bring her in as far as like building together, whatever it is, just finding a direction for her to channel her energy and find her passions, which are very similar to mine. I mean, we're very similar creatures. So that's basically what's been going on in my life. Things are really good. I just I need to be held accountable for like my daily. I'm struggling with like my daily routine of like ritual and consistency, which I spoke about this last time I was on the chat. So I've been, you know, taking action, and I'm not like sitting stagnant or anything, but it's just I need structure. So pretty much it.
I think you should, like the message I got was you need to be gentle with yourself because you're going through a lot with your sister. So don't
Right.
like
Yeah.
hold yourself on a cross to something that you're doing the work through giving the love, you know, it doesn't have to look like
Yeah.
when you're in space.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. And then also like, yeah, I haven't been able to keep up with the chats like I normally do. But I want you guys to know that I do see them, and I haven't like disappeared, and I'm still there. I'm still like tuning in when I can, but I have had a lot going on, so I haven't been able to be as interactive. But I feel like now that things have kind of like plateaued with my sister and things are going really good, that more space is opening up for me to be able to interact more on a personal level and like really move the energy forward, because I really feel that as well. Like I feel that like desire in my own spirit to, you know, go deeper with, you know, different sisters that I'm aligned with. And like with Megan, you know, we've been feeling this for a while. Like we have work to do together. And so I can't wait, you know, for the time and space to be able to go deeper into that and like really give birth to, you know, more of our light and our purpose together. And other, you know, other sisters too, like whoever. I know that with Aisha, like our connection could be really good, and I'm interested in exploring that. And with Susan, she reached out to me and we were talking about doing a reading together. So that's going to be coming up. And yeah, I'm excited to go deeper with you guys and move things along.
The thing I want to say about the chats is because sometimes there's so much energy there. I believe that if you have days of disconnect from it, it just means you don't need to be a part of this thread. So don't again put pressure on yourself to be everything to everyone. It's just there is a moment that you don't need it, right? And then others do. And it's like, yeah, I think there is time and space for everything. I don't think I think it's an amazing place when people need something to tune into, but sometimes we don't. You know, sometimes you're in your own lane and you're going forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I get next with Aisha. I know you're making a bed there, but
I can take a break from that. Yes, I'm house sitting and I'm leaving today, so I'm just trying to get my work done as I talk. And then I realize I've also baked cookies, dog biscuits on this call, and I'm usually working. So I guess the first thing that's going on with me is work, a lot of work. It's like work, work, work all the time. So I have a dog hair in my mouth. Yeah, it's like my year of work, which is fine. It's just busy. And like, luckily I work for a good company, but I do feel myself, there's this huge like dichotomy within me where I'm bouncing between frantic 3D work life. And then I'm like getting a second of calm when I have our WhatsApp chat on a tab on my computer all day. It's like I switch to that mode and I just like relax, or, you know, I take my time to meditate, or I quit work every day at 4 and then I meditate and then I do an astrology reading or an Akashic reading. That's also work. Like I'm working all night, and then yeah, it's just a lot, but it's okay. I'm like here for it, and I know the work sets up the life I want, and that's just kind of what I'm doing. Like I just have like my nose to the grindstone. I think like, you know, chatting with April and sometimes I feel like, to be honest, it's with a work situation, like the Akashic thing comes easier, I think, for me, but it's just because I don't have the pressure of it being my only thing, almost because my focus is like spread out across a bunch of things. So I understand that, I think if I was doing that, putting more pressure on myself in that way, it wouldn't be flowing for me as well. I don't know if it's flowing that good. I'm just kind of doing it and there's no time frame on it. So I'm like, well, if a reading, I feel like it sucked, I'm just like, whatever, there's the next one. Yeah, like personally, I feel really deeply connected to like aliens, my alien friends. It's like such a big part of my world, which is really cool and I love it. It's funny because we've been trying to get this galactic Akashic reading and it keeps like bouncing back for both of us and we're both like, come on, when are we gonna get there? But that's exciting. The only thing like I'm really, my personal work right now is I feel like I've said this to a lot of people, but I am like blocked in my right here. Like I'm moving into the heart space. I'm trying to move into my heart space. I'm being so intentional about it. And I know that that's like the next big step or movement for me. But like, holy, I just feel like my solar plexus are like bursting at the seams. And I'm not typically anymore a very anxious person, but that feeling of pressure creates anxiety. And it's my constant state. It is like my constant state of being. When I'm working, like it doesn't matter what I'm doing, even if I'm relaxing, So energetically,
The sonic slider.
yes, I do. And I have been using it there. And it does, I can feel my heartbeat slowing down as I use it. It's just unfortunate that I can't just attach it to myself and have it vibrating all day.
Also tapping, bringing
Okay.
attention to it is gonna like calm it down.
Okay. I've never tried that before, but that even when I touch and when I just hold that space, it helps because it's almost like I'm dropping like my mind into my heart or something. But yeah, I just feel like there's like a lot of pressure and I'm on this like precipice of jumping into heart space. But I don't know if in all the work that I'm doing and how busy I am, I'm not sure if I'm like holding myself back from that and I need to stop doing so much work, or if it's just a necessary, like where I'm getting my momentum from. So that's just kind of personally what I'm trying to like figure out energetically. And yeah, that's everything.
I think I shared it in our group, but the Heart Coherence Collaborative is a group on Facebook. So they just finished.
We lost her. She said, I think she shared that like a few days ago. They did a meditation. I don't know. If you saw that.
I think I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Yeah. It's so there's one
Oh,
and
you're cutting out.
I'm still here. All right, let me stop my video, see if that helps. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, now we hear you.
Okay, cool. So they're starting another one October 2nd. And so it's just a new meditation every day. And they're normally very short. I can tell you from someone like who I have a hard time with a lot of guided meditations, but some of those very short heart coherence meditations, like I actually felt very strongly in my heart center, like heart expansiveness, and just, yeah, almost like just getting familiar with that feeling of what that vibration feels like when your heart is big and expansive. So I'll share that again and in the email with the notes that I'm taking, but that would be something like if you commit to that, like just 21 days of like very short, like I said, most of them are 5.
Oh, we lost her again.
We have a storm going on, so I don't know if that's why, but I will share that group in our notes. Heart Coherence Collaborative. So
I will definitely give that a try for sure. That sounds awesome. I guess the only other thing I want to say is that when I started doing the Google form for the group to find, I was like, oh, I can organize this. It was like, I got the biggest deja vu ever. And it was right after Gabrielle mentioned that we're going to start giving people their platform, like what we're doing this week. And right away I jumped into doing that, which is really like my forte, and being able to connect with people through, like our smaller Akashic Records group, April, Susan, Melanie. And I did a reading for Megan. I'm doing one for Sherry next week. I'm helping Am with her website. And that stuff is literally driving me right now. Like I'm so fucking exhausted from working my job every day, and it doesn't drive me. But even though it seems like work, like helping in with your website, it's really not. Like to me, it's like I love it. It's like my passion and my purpose, and like helping people and just getting to know this group of girls on a deeper level has been like amazing. It's just been huge this past week. So I'm like super glad that we're bringing that into the fold, because it just feels like people are touching base on a deeper level, like Kayla and Megan doing, like getting together, you guys getting together for Aya. I love that. So yeah.
So I feel like I started pulling out some of the energy from your heart space.
I think I could see that thing.
It feels like it's like wound really tight. And if you do want me to do a healing with you, just text me, and we can do it, because I can feel it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Anne, your turn. We didn't even get to say hi to you. You snuck in there.
Hi, ladies. Let's see. Things I'm working on. Well, Aisha, she's helping me, like she said, with a website. We came up that that's something that I need to get myself going on and just get things rolling. That's been fun thinking about and coming up with a name. And after coming up with like 25 different names, I think I came up with one. Frank helped me come up with one yesterday.
What is it? What is it?
I think it's going to be something along the lines of Eyes Wide Open.
Oh, I like that.
But that's kind of taken, so I've got to kind of play with it a little bit, because it's kind of avenues of it are taken a little bit. So I've got to play with it some. But something along that avenue. And let's see, as far as things going on, trying to focus on this path, and just like everybody else, your regular job getting in the way, and my regular job that hasn't been hardly existing for the whole year is suddenly decided that now it's going to exist. And they want me to work. Well, I just found out it was supposed to be 4 days of the week for at least 4 hours a day. But now they've just changed. It just got changed to 3 days a week for 4 hours a day. And there are different hours. Some's in the morning, some's in the afternoon, some's at night. So it's all over the place. So that's kind of not exactly making me super happy. But hey, so whatever. And we're working on trying to figure out where we want to move to and what we want to do with that, because we do want to, it has been in the cards to move out of state for years. And so next week we're supposed to go on a trip out of state to see where we want to go to. So we'll see how that flies. And things are, just not going to, just going to keep plowing away with what we got to do and see. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm just ready for it. I think it's funny because I was having a few couple of weeks ago, last week more than anything, some pretty wild dreams. And I had a reading with April yesterday, and I was talking to her about it. And one of them was a meeting with God. And it was interesting because she told me to come with her, and we were on like a different plane, and it was almost like 5D. And that was, and at the end, I remember asking, am I supposed to go with you? Am I dying? And it was like, no, I just want you to see things and I want you to observe. And it was very interesting. That just really blew me away that I was having this conversation with God in one of my dreams. So that was kind of wild. But other than that, that's been about it. I'm just trying to keep working. I want to get with some of do more readings with them. I'd like to have, that's all. I don't know what else. That's enough.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Can I just say, like, I'm cracking up because Anne is just so nonchalant, like, yeah, I just had a conversation with God and life. It's like
it was crazy. It was crazy. It was a little crazy. It's hard to believe. And as I was going through my notes with April yesterday, it was just like the more I kept thinking about it, it was just like, yeah, that's kind of out there. It was kind of out there. It was cool.
That's like what happens in Aya. You did it in your dream state. You have conversations with God.
Yeah, and she was so cool. She was cool. It was cool.
And she was a woman.
I love
that. Of course. Of course.
Of course. I love that.
Is there any doubt? Come on, ladies.
Oh, look at that baby kitten. I think for the last one we have is Fabi. So Fabi, you came a little late, but we're just talking about like what's going on in. Oh wait, she doesn't have her thing on.
Hold on.
Okay.
Everyone just
Came on you.
grab the whole thing. You guys are so lovely and generous, and everyone's looking after everyone. I love to be here. Sorry I was late. I was commuting. We were at the farm today. We just came back. I missed Gabby's. I'll talk to you later to see how it went with your experience, your ceremony. Kyla as well, looking after her sister. Sent her a little message. And Alicia I'm gonna send you a text as well to see if you would like to try some florals. We can talk about that as well. I'm gonna send you, I think it's you I think I found you on the group, okay?
Yeah.
With the whole test thing. If you wanna give that a go, we can talk as well. This week I have been starting my second module of the training course I'm doing to become a therapist, focusing in Ho'oponopono. It's the healing, the Hawaiian kahuna people from Hawaii, and mixing that with the Brazilian florals. And then one of the things we're working on is judgment, in order for us to clean ourselves, to clean our memories, to clean our traumas, to be able to help other people, is to do this cleansing on ourselves. And that starts with working with judgment. And I didn't think I was judgmental. I didn't think I even have the time to be thinking about what other people are doing or about myself. But when I was practicing this awareness, I saw how much thought I spent thinking of how someone could have acted or done something, or the way they're doing something, like leading with their lives and so on. And I realized I actually was judging them based on how I would do something, how I know life. Nah? And every person has their own life biography, their own journey, and they're not going to be able to react or deal with things the way I do, because they're going to have their own ways of doing it. So that's, I think, where the core of the judgment was from, because I was thinking about them like I am, not was almost trying to put myself in their shoes, but it was above that, beyond that. It was I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, but everything, even though we've put an example of an addiction, I know Kyla is sensitive to that as well. I have that around my life in a way. And if we stay saying that that person has an addiction, or he is an addictive, I don't know what's the subject, the right words to say, or that he is that, or she is that, we are never going to be able to heal that person, or because you're focusing on the negative aspect of that as well. So we have to think about the opposite of that. What is the opposite of that? Otherwise, it's almost like you're feeding the negativity. And that went with so many examples in the course, from how we react even to terrorism or national corruption or anything like that, because that's something, I'm not corrupt, I'm not a terrorist, so this has nothing to do with me. But while we're studying and reflecting upon that, yes, there is, because if it's manifesting, everything that manifests around us has to do with us in a certain way, and it's our chance to change that, to heal it, by doing the right opposite. So if there's hate, we have to work with love. And the judgment thing was the key point, because I didn't realize how much time I was spending, even in thoughts. Oh my God, there was, even with someone that works for you or with you, he could have done it that way, or why didn't he say that or that? And so much time we spend thinking, we're judging all the time. So for me to try to cleanse that it has been an exercise, and I realized I'm doing this again. Even with the example of us hearing each other today. Someone that has difficulty of maybe doing a website, or to decide what they want to do. It's so easy for us to just judge and say, well, she could have just done that, or of course she needs to work, or it's so easy to judge, right? And then if you don't pay attention in your thoughts, we lack that coherence between, we want to do good, we want to be healers, we want to help other people, but it has to be 100% us feeling thoughts, words, and actions. So it's an invitation for you guys as well to start monitoring that, to try to cleanse that, to get to that state zero. I don't know if it makes any sense what I'm saying, but that has been a challenge for me. And I didn't even know I was a big judger. Like, I didn't think, because I'm so, you do your thing, I do my thing the whole time. And I thought, oh my God, I'm judging everything. Even like my little child, why did he pull his pants up? As if it's something so easy for me, for me to just try to pull your pants up, just do it like that. But for him, it's difficult. So instead of judging, oh, he's being lazy, he's being backwards in his own development, and just he'll relax in his own time. Start thinking about why he's not doing or doing. But with everything, from the cat to the husband to we cannot, and I think it's the penny dropped on that was like, I act because I have this whole baggage and my whole history and my whole knowledge, and it's so natural for me that would be the logical path to be done. But it's not for Kyla, it's not for Anne, it's not for Gabby. Each one of us had an upbringing or luggage on our path, or a way of thinking. Some people are more logical, some people are less logical. So I don't know if I can sense.
No, Fabi, thank you for sharing that, because I wrote down everything that you just shared. That was so important for me to hear that. And I find myself really trying to do my best to practice that all the time. Like, one of my sayings is beautiful thoughts, beautiful words, beautiful actions, and then my life will reflect that beauty. And I'm doing, you know, like 85% better than I ever have in my entire life. But sometimes that old like programming will creep back in for a moment, and I have to really be mindful of that.
Yeah,
And
mindfulness.
keep cleansing that. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna share what you just shared with my mother, because she's really struggling with the reintegration with my sister, because she's at home with the family right now. So I'm gonna
Kyla,
share this with. Mhm.
I'm gonna send you 2 prayers from the Mohana Simeone, which is the Kahuna. I think that's why I'm in this group. I think because I have my whole spiritual path for my whole family. I told Gabi, I just found the DVD of the Seeds of Star. Remember, my mom was very spiritual. She had a crystal shop and all of that. So for me, it was not a big thing to follow the path of spirituality. It was like I have always studied, or was in the end I chose my own path. I'm a Buddhist, but with the florals, there is about the Kahuna people, the Oponopono, all so connected. And now I understand why I'm here in a way, because I'm tapping into this energy. And I'm going to give you the 2 prayers I received from, they wrote very little, but I have these 2 prayers in English I'm going to send you. And you and your whole family, especially, you're only going to be able to help her if you're healing yourself, because you share the karma. Otherwise, she wouldn't be your sister. So it's not your sister's problem. It's a collective issue. So if you see it from the outside, oh, she's the one that has the problem, not me, you're not going to be able to ever help her, heal her. So the only way is to heal yourself first, to heal the addiction in you, even though you might not even touch anything physically, your body not consume anything. But you have to cleanse that, holding her as her inner child. There's a whole, it could be from a past life, or it could be from an upbringing. She has her own biography twice. She chose that path. But you have to heal yourself first. Your mom has to heal herself first, and then she'll be able to help your sister. I'll put it in the group because I think it could help many people, because it could apply to anything. The prayer, from lack of money to whatever is our karma that need to be cleansed, even as a social, like we are living in a pandemic. Every one of us has a karma, collective karma with this whole situation. So I'll put the 2 prayers, if you'd like, into the group, and then one day we can talk more about Ponopono, because it has been really, really. I'm on a second vessel of the 6-month treatment. I don't know if I spoke to you about. I don't know if I have much time today, but I sent to Gabby to see if she could get the kit in the States. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, the florals from Oponopono.
No, I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, I put a link to who sells them here.
I think you have that in the States already, because it was launched in Brazil in February. And then we can even do a group of that, like doing the process together, like what you expect from each one, and have a group. It has been amazing. I'm on vessel 2. I'm on the middle of it. A lot of dreams, a lot of cleansing, things that you thought you dealt with, but it's all in there still. But I'm going to put there's many prayers, but I'll put these 2 prayers in the group if you guys want to. But just try to capture your thoughts when you were, because we're dealing with people all the time. We have pets, we have husbands and kids, and even Gabby not feeling so connected to your family. There's a lot of judgment even there. So let's just try to cleanse that. Be careful with that, because that generates karma as well. Like even if it's not, you're not thinking badly, but if you're just judging, we're not open to the divine that is in that person. Each of us has this divine essence, that's purity, and that's who you should look when you're looking towards the other person, is the potential to illuminate. Even when you go to a supermarket queue, there's someone annoying or someone in the traffic, there's divine essence everywhere. So that will help a lot, I think, our daily lives, how to manage everything. I hope I made a little sense.
Definitely. There was a message that's kind of similar to this, is that literally every person is a reflection of what we need to heal inside of ourselves. No one outside of us is the issue. It's always our issue, just reflecting back to us. So I mean, that applies in so many ways right now, and all the things that are happening in the world. And there is also not taking on other people's karma and allowing their karma to play out as well, and deciding, like how Fabi said, it's in your family, it is part of your karma. That's true. But it's also when you think of like someone's pain that's happening in Afghanistan, that's not your karma, and you have to allow it to play out as well. So it's like knowing what is yours in your immediate environment to work on, and taking on and healing the parts of you that are in your immediate environment first, because you cannot heal anything until you're healed. And I don't personally believe we're ever fully healed. Just to put that out there, we all always have stuff that we're working on. Always. Today's been so beautiful, and I forgot to share the card that I pulled, but I feel like it's the perfect card, especially after hearing everybody's stories. And this is the card, and it's the medicine of the horse, and it's the progress on the path. And I'm just going to read the beginning part of it, because I feel like I am.
What is that number? Sorry, what is the number?
41.
41.
I am Medicine Horse, bringing you the message of freedom, journey, and progress. Do not act as though you are a beast of burden. Claim your innate divine dignity and allow yourself to feel and be grateful. Recognize and honor your needs for rest, openness, safety, and respect. An ability to hear, know, and feel spiritual truth, which will guide you in every aspect of your life and journey. It is opening up, and connect with your spirit and live your truth. And I feel like today really was that medicine. And it's like, even though the medicine is happening to each of us, there's a thread that's tying us all to it. It's like weaving us all together to share in the medicine. So I appreciate that in all of you guys, and being vulnerable.
Okay, I also pulled, I'm gonna try my video and see if this doesn't come in. I pulled
We don't hear.
which how's that? Can you hear me?
It's very low, very low. Oh wait, no. No, not really.
Gabby?
Oh no.
Yes, no.
Now.
Oh, good. Okay, now. So the card actually has, I pulled it right after our meditation song, and it's got a big butterfly on it. But it's Panthera, and basically the takeaway here is you may feel that you are alone in the fight, but there are forces of good in spirit and upon the earth that are fighting with you, supporting in you, believing in you, assisting you, and championing your success. It may not always feel like it, but you are not in this alone. There is help at hand to uncover a hidden piece of information which will allow truth and justice to prevail. So I just thought, especially after your podcast, like galactic support, and just, that a lot of us feeling like things have fallen away. And I know for me, that's a huge thing, like feeling alone in the medicine space, particularly for me. But so that was the card that I pulled for us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for today. It feels like my heart is full now of all of you. And I think that we need to spend the time more regularly to check in with each other, because I feel like the energy is feeling very intense for me. As I said at the beginning of this, I'm exhausted. I can't even, this whole week has been hard for me, just energy wise. So I know that you guys probably are feeling it too. And you know, we all are in this together and experiencing it together and have each other, which, you know, we didn't have this before. So lean on each other and lean on me and lean on the ones that are calling to you. And yeah, let's be there for each other. Okay, so the next meeting is going to be September 27th at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. And I will send out a meeting invite, and obviously I'll remind you guys when it gets closer. But our new time is going to be Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I believe, Fabi, that would be 8 p.m. your time. So Mondays, every other Monday. We did a poll, and Aisha was the one that figured out from everyone's schedules that is the time that will get most of us on here. And I think actually everybody will be able to, including Kat, which will be amazing. So I look forward to seeing you guys then.
Sorry, it's your what time, Debbie? What time your time?
4 p.m. my time on the 27th, but I think that's 8 p.m. your time.
I think I'm on a lesson, but that's okay. We figure it out. There's gonna be the Friday ones as well, or no?
No more Fridays. It'll just be Mondays, every other Monday.
And Energy Sunshine, is it you, Kyla?
I can't hear you.
Kyla's contact on the
Yes.
group. Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a good weekend and we'll see each other soon. I love you all.
Bye, ladies.